Hello everyone, it is Therese from Theresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart. And the project we're going to do now is the sea turtle, and I have the kit right here, and I'm going to show you what is in it because I'm pretty sure you guys have the kit right there too. Hey, do you like my really fun earrings? They're a paint palette and a brush. Aren't they cute? Because I'm all about painting. Love to paint. So I am going to switch my camera view, and we will go through what is in the kit plus what is not in the kit that you will need. Okay, so in your kit, you have a pre-traced 8x10 canvas. You also have a piece of foil, which you may be wondering what it's for, but I like to use the foil in my kits for the paint. I put my paint out on this plate and then I wash it afterwards, but I give you guys this piece of foil so you can put your paint out on the foil, or because they come in these nice squeeze box bottles, and you just can put out little puddles like I have of the paint. You really don't need a lot of paint for this project. You'll be surprised. So there is blue, white, green, yellow, and red. Okay? Then of course there's a reference photo for you, a couple of paint brushes. I have my two here. And then I put this little information card in here. So it says what you're provided, which I already told you. And then you need some kind of table covering to keep your place neat. I have this plastic cover, and then I use these old calendars. You can use scrap paper, you can use newspaper, you can use a plastic covering if you have something, or a grown-up around you has something to protect the table. But you want something for your surface so you don't get paint everywhere. It does wash off because it's water-based, but it's good to have your surface covered. Then you need a couple of paper towels. I have two right here. And some water. I use this bin, but you will need a cup of water to wash your brushes out in, because we are using two brushes, but we have, 5 colors of paint. Okay? So let me get all this out of the way, and we will get started. Okay, you guys excited to paint? I am. I love to paint. Oh, you might be hearing some noise right now. That is the lawnmower. I apologize. I thought he was done. So, it is that time of the year. So, let me pack this up and make room to paint for y'all. Oops. Okay. So, here's your packet. All right, let me put that to the side. Okay, let me turn my camera around. Now, I have my pre-traced design out here on its really, really heavy cardstock. It's called Bristol board. That's what I like to use because I have so many paintings. These store nice and easy. I put them in a binder or in plastic sleeves in a binder. And this way, they're a lot more easy for me to store all my paintings and my artwork. Okay, I have my brushes out, I have my paper towels, and I have my paint palette on this dish. Okay, so we have these two brushes here. I'm going to use a big one and a small one. We'll be calling the larger one the flat brush or the large brush, and we'll be calling the smaller one either the smaller one or the liner brush. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is we're going to paint all our water. Now there's various shades of blue in this picture, and we're going to do that by mixing our blue and our white in some spots. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up our blue. And when I pick up my paint, I put it into the side. I don't take my brush and dump it right into the big pile of paint. Nope, I go over here and I pull it out to the side a little bit. Now you might think I have two blues. That other blue there is dry. Okay? So I'm going to start with this stripe here. And they look like stripes, but they're really the waves of the water of the ocean. And this one here. And one other thing, I paint the way I color when I color with crayons. And the way I color with crayons is by outlining first. So I will go in and I will outline whatever area I'm going to do with this color first. This way, it gives me a little bit of an idea of where I'm painting the one color, and I know what area to stay in with that one color. And this way, I don't get confused. Okay, so I'm going to go around the little turtle head. Okay, so we're going to start with this area down here with our blue. And this is why I say to have a table covering down, because I'll go off on the edge, and then we don't have to worry about getting the table or our surface dirty, because we're just using some scrap or something to protect it with. Okay. Now, if I'm going too fast, just hit the pause. Hit the pause button on the video. You can catch up, and then you can move on to the next step with me. Okay? So I'm painting mine all at once. You might need to paint yours in 2 different sessions. You might have to do some homework or something. So don't worry. You can just hit the pause button and then come back, and the video will be waiting for you. Just be sure to cover up your paint with something so it doesn't dry out. So now I'm going in and I'm outlining my waves. And as you can see, it does not have to be perfect, because as we add the other colors, we'll be fixing our lines and getting the shapes that we want. Okay? This is just the base coat. And when we go back in and we add all the details to our turtle and our waves, that's when you will see how your project totally comes together. But at the beginning, when we're just doing the base coat, it's not going to look that great. Your artwork will go through stages. So don't worry about that. Also, I am a mom. My girls are grown now, but I always told them when they were little, growing up, it's art. It can't be wrong. What somebody loves, somebody else might not love. And so it's your project. If you want to use your own colors and be creative, go right ahead. Okay, so now we did those 2 stripes. I am going to start picking up, just with the corner of my brush, a little white. Okay, so now we're going to have the blue and the white on our brush when we do this part down here. And again, I want to go in and I want to go around the turtle. Okay, so I know where we're going to be painting now with this basically new color. And every time we're going to dip a little bit in the blue and a little bit in the white, and we don't want to overblend, because we want to see blue and we want to see white and we want to see dark blue and light blue and all kinds of blues in here. If it gets too light, you can pick up a little bit more dark. And now you see we're just using the same colors and the same blue, but look how different this wave looks than this wave, right? And all we do is dip our corners into the paint. Corner blue, corner white, and paint. Some of this needs a little bit of a second coat, so that's why I'm going over it again. And you want to see all that variation in your colors. Look at that. And we're going to do the same thing for this stripe. I'm going to do a corner blue and a corner white. And we're going to go up in here. I'm going to outline my turtle so I know where I'm going to paint. And then we're just going to fill in this area with our blue and white mix. Okay? And the same thing on this side. And you can see I'm always turning my project every which way. I'm not trying to paint up here or turn my arm all crazy and stuff. Nope. When I'm painting, I will turn my project all kinds of ways in order to be able to do my paint stroke. Okay, I think I need a little bit more blue on this one. And pull it out to the side. Okay. And we have all that nice variation just with the one blue color and the white paint that we mixed in there a little bit. What do you guys think? So this is what you should have now. Let me change my camera. There we go. So I have all my blues with the one blue and the white done already. Okay. So now we're going to rinse our brushes in our in our cup of water. And then we want to squeeze it in here and dry it really nice, okay? You don't want your brush to be all wet. So don't forget, if I'm going too fast, feel free to hit the pause button, catch up, and then we can move on. You can move on to the next part of the design, okay? So now I'm gonna do up here, I'm going to get out some yellow. And again, I put my brush to the edge of the pile, the little puddle of paint, and I pull it out like that, and I want to get paint on both sides. See, I'm turning my brush over and over and over. All right. So we want to make sure our blue, yeah, our blue is good. We want our blue to be dry because if you mix blue and yellow, you will get green. And we're going to avoid getting green. Not that green isn't a nice color. We just don't need green up here in our sky. And again, I'm using the flat side of our large flat brush, and I'm going in and I'm doing the outlining of the waves. This is why I said it didn't really matter to begin with if your waves were perfect or not, because now we're going back in with our yellow and we're giving them a little bit more of a definition. Okay? Then we're going to do the same thing we did with the blue and the white. We are now going to do with the yellow and the orange. So I have all this yellow on my brush. I put one corner in the yellow, and now I'm going to go over here on the side, and I'm going to put another corner in the orange. And now, keeping the yellow where the yellow is, I'm going to start adding some orange up here. And I'm following the same path that I laid out with my yellow paint. And now I'm just adding some orange to it. I'm going to pick up a little bit more orange and add it to the top like this. And some yellow. Okay, and now still with the same dirty brush, now instead of picking up orange, we're going to pick up some red. I'm going to go in here along the top, tiny bit of red, and blend it in to our sky. Need a little bit of orange there. Okay. Doesn't it look pretty? Let me show you guys. So, we did a band of yellow, and then with our brush, still with the yellow paint, we dipped one corner into the yellow and the opposite corner into the orange, and then we went a little higher with that. And then when we got as high as we wanted with the orange, we added a little bit of red, still to our dirty brush. We didn't go into water. And we added a little bit of red, and we put the red to the top to give it a really fun, it could be a sunset or a sunrise. whichever you want. Okay? Now we will wash our brush. So now I'm going to wash my brush. When I'm sure I have all, if not most of the paint out, I'm going to take it, I'm going to sandwich it in my paper towels and dry it. We want our brush to be nice and dry. Okay? And now I'm going to go in, I'm going to pick up the paint, the green paint, the same way. Go into the side, turn my brush over and over and over. And like I said again, this is my green spot, but the other green under there is dry. I'm just using this lime green right now. And we are going to paint our turtle. This time you could be a little bit more careful when you're doing your shape of your turtle. Now when we did our background with our blue, we went over our turtle a little bit. But now you can fix that as best you can or as best as you want to while we put in the base coat of our turtle. And all this time we're still using the same brush, the big brush. We will get to the little liner brush when we're done with all this base coating. And if you can see your turtle's body, the middle part of your turtle's body through your artwork, that's fine. If you can't, that's fine too. We'll go back in and find where it is and paint it in when we get to our details. Now I like to, even though it's paint and it's all one color, I like to have my brush strokes go the same way for different shapes. So now that I have the base coat in, I'm going to go around my turtle, making sure my brush strokes all go the same way on the different areas. Like on his head, I'm going to pull down. On his back, I went in a circle. On his fins or flippers, his little legs, I'm going to make them all go sideways to his body. He has a little tail here. And the same thing with this one. Because even though it's all the same color, you can still see the different parts of his body. You may not be able to see from mine, but you can see on yours the different parts of his body just by doing your strokes in the same direction, but different from the different body parts. Okay, I'm going to wash this brush, but I'm going to leave that brush in the water because now I'm going to move on to my liner brush. And we're going to go to our white. So now we move around a little bit. So first we wanted some of our waves to dry. So we did our dark. When our dark dried, we moved on to our light. And then when our dark was really dry, we did our yellow and our orange for the top. Now we did our turtle. And while our turtle dries, we're going to get our liner brush and go into our white and add all our little details to our water and our waves. Okay. Now, this is a good time. If your blue waves and your sky are not dry enough, hit the pause button and wait about, 5 minutes or so until you can touch it with your hands. See, I can touch mine with my hands and not getting, that's old paint, and not getting fresh wet paint on my hands. And when you're there, then you can go back to the play button and start doing your details. So I have my white, and I'm going to get my little liner brush here, and I'm just going to get some paint on it. And again, my liner brush is a different shape, and it's more rounded and long, but I'm still going into the side of the pile, and I'm still twisting it around so I can get paint in the whole entire brush. And then I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to start adding some design to my waves. Okay, little dots, little outlines between the different shapes. And these lines do not have to be perfect or straight. Your dots do not all have to be the same size and perfect either. I'm just gently poking the top of my brush down. I'm going in here and I'm just gently poking these dots just to make a little design on our waves. Okay? And the same thing up here. I'm going to go in and we're going to trace all of our waves. And again, this does not have to be perfect. It's just defining the tops of our waves. Okay? And then again, we can go in here and following all these curves, we'll add these dots. When you run out of paint, just pick up a little bit more. And you can use this design. You can take these waves and this technique that we did with these waves and this sunrise or sunset, whatever you want it to be, and put something different. You can put a shark in here, or a fish, or a mermaid. Print one out off the internet and just trace it onto your surface and use the same thing. You'll do the background with the waves and the sky. And then you go in and you'll paint your shark or your mermaid or whatever it is that you put in the middle, whatever color you want. Okay. Now I'm going to outline my turtle the same way we outlined the waves. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just adding a little bit of highlight because we want our main element, which is our sea turtle, to stand out. Okay? And now I'm going to wash my brush because we're going to go into the yellow a little bit. So let me pick up and show you guys. So here we are. This is what we have right now. The base of our turtle. And then our waves and our sun and all our little details. Okay? Now, cleaning my little liner brush. I'm going to squeeze out the water with my paper towel. And we're going to go back into our yellow now. Okay. So if you can see your circle on your turtle's back, that's great. If you can't and you just want to hand draw it, that's fine. Or if you want to go in there with a little pencil first, it's totally up to you. I can see mine, so I'm going to go in here and just trace it with my yellow paint. Okay. Then I'm going to add some yellow to the fins. And the tail. And the head. Okay. And then we're going to go in and add the dots all around his body the same way we did to the waves. Now sometimes when I do dots, I use the back of the brush and I'll put the back hard tip into the paint and make dots that way. So whichever way you want to do it, if you want to use the top of the brush, the soft part with the bristles, or you want to use the bottom hard part, it's totally up to you. Okay. Then we're going to add another little area in the middle. It does not have to be a perfect circle or an oval, whatever it is. We're just adding a shape to the middle. And then we're going to come off of it with these diagonal lines, because I don't know if you've ever seen turtles, you might have, or at least in a book. They have all these different sections and designs on their backs. So we're going to go in and put those little diagonal lines in there. And then we're going to add these little zigzags in between the dots and the first circle we did. They're almost like a W or an M, whichever way your paper seems to be at the time. And you can see I keep my brush and my hand in the same place, but I turn my design as I go. There you go. So, there you have it. I might add a few little zigzags down here too. Let me see. I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up my white now. I'm just adding a little bit of wave action down here. And you can add these if you want or not. It's up to you. So, what do you guys think? I love my turtle. So I hope you're happy with your turtle too. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little painting lesson and painting your sea turtle. And I hope to see you guys again. Bye-bye.